You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad you can join me. Thank you for being here with me again on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, and like, all that good stuff. Go to our Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. So I wanted to touch on do like an NFL wrap-up today. I wanted to touch on a couple of the more big games that happened on Sunday in Week 4. I wanted to speak on the NFC East. The NFC East, in my opinion, has to be the worst division in football. It was close. I wanted to put the AFC, I believe it's the AFC East. It's something about those East, you know. Excuse me. It's something about that East. It's horrible because in the AFC East you got Miami, Buffalo, New England, and the Jets. I don't think New England is a bad team. I know they're going through a transitional period now without Tom Brady being there, but they have Cam Newton who missed Sunday's game. Well, missed Monday's game rather because of COVID-19. But the NFC East just takes the cake for me. And you know what? That's been the worst division in football for a long time. I've heard people call the NFC South the worst division. You know, they call it the NASCAR division. But the NFC South is continuously putting two teams into the playoffs, or is normally a very competitive division. Unlike the NFC East with Dallas, Philadelphia, the Giants. Who was the other team that's in that horrible division? The Washington football team, the team that has no name. The team that we love them so much that we don't even give them a name. Okay, worst division in football, and they have been for a long time. And the Cowboy fans. I mean, look, the Cowboys are still the Cowboys, and they suck. You know, you've seen the memes of if you want to watch Dallas win, you have to watch the History Channel. I'm going to be real with you. If you want to watch the Dallas Cowboys last Super Bowl win, you have to have a VCR to watch the last Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl win. But when you hear these Cowboy fans, they talk about the Cowboys like they are the next thing next to sliced bread. Let's be honest. The Cowboys have done nothing since what, 95? 95. So you have a new generation that has been born since then, that was born in 95, and they have never seen the Cowboys win anything. But yet you see these Cowboy fans coming out of the woodworks and screaming, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. I can't believe they lost to the Cleveland Browns the way they did. Baker Mayfield looked like a Pro Bowl quarterback out there against that team. I got news for you, Dallas. Dak Prescott is leaving. Dak is gone. He is gone. Bye. Bye-bye. Dak was 41 of 58 passing, threw for 502 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a QBR of 112. Dak is going bye-bye. He is not resigning in Dallas. At this point, I don't even think it's the money. Jerry Jones can't get out of his own way. Jerry Jones had a chance to pay him and would not pay this man. So Dak, okay, we'll just play it out. Playing under the franchise tag. So yeah, he'll be paid as one of the top QBs this year, as he is. But still, pay the man. And Jerry Jones can't even get that right. Jerry Jones, that Cowboys team, nothing will change as long as Jerry Jones is in charge and he's making football moves and he has pawns under him that just do whatever he says to do. So, Cowboy fans, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's not like it's easy to go out and just find a QB. So, enjoy Dak Prescott for the rest of this season and enjoy being at the bottom of the barrel after that. You're already there, but really enjoy it starting next season because Dak Prescott is gone. The Eagles won. Another NFC East team. They won, but the 49ers, they didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo still hurt. I believe he was hurt in the Jets game. And he did not play on Sunday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won, but there was nothing special about that win to me, honestly, when I saw what I saw. Because Nick Mullins, the backup QB for San Francisco, did not look like an NFL quarterback. He didn't look like one. I mean, he wouldn't push the ball down the field. And Kittles was pretty much his bailout receiver. Now, when you look at his numbers, he was 18 of 26. This is Nick Mullins I'm talking about, the backup QB for San Francisco. He was 18 of 26, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. He was sacked 4 times with a QBR of 72. Now, those numbers are pedestrian, pedestrian. And the Eagles barely won. But speaking of San Francisco, you're not going to win just going to your tight end. It was like every other play, Mullins was going to his tight end, Kittles. And they benched them late in the 4th. And what was the reason for that? They should have just left them in there. But, I mean, Mullins looked so bad Sunday. It was, woo, man. The Eagles should not have had, look, that should have been an easy win for Philadelphia. Don't let that win fool you. This is the part of that NFC East nonsense that people love for some strange reason. But the Eagles are a bad team. And Carson Wentz didn't have the greatest game, but in his defense, Carson Wentz needs receivers and he needs an offensive line. When I was looking at the game, I didn't know who Carson Wentz was throwing the football to. Aguilar is in Las Vegas now with the Raiders. So they had me out there. I was the guy. I was the guy Carson Wentz was throwing the football to. That's who he was throwing to. Carson Wentz. The crazy thing about it, he played worse than Nick Mullins. He played worse. Now, when you look at the numbers, it's not really going to say that. That's what I hate about, this is what I hate about the national media, because they'll look at the numbers and say, oh, this guy did that. But did you watch the game? The game flow showed you a different thing. Carson Wentz was 18 of 28, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he was sacked 3 times. Those are numbers I would expect from a rookie QB. Not a guy like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz hasn't been the same, really, since he was up for the MVP award. Did he win the MVP award that year? The year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. He was out for the year. He got hurt in was it the playoffs or was it right before the playoffs he got hurt? I have to look that up. But he hasn't been the same since that. And on Sunday, he played worse than Nick Mullins. But like I said, to his defense, he needs receivers, and he was running for his life. He was running for his life Sunday night against that San Francisco defense, which San Francisco has a pretty good defense. I mean, that defense can get after it. That's what kept San Francisco in that football game, really. And also, speaking of Carson Wentz and his rookie numbers that he put up on Sunday night, speaking of rookies, drafting Jalen Hurts, what does that do? Because I can't stand when pro teams do what they did playing musical chairs. You bring them in for like a wildcat situation or some type of quarterback run. So look, if I'm the defense, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know exactly what is coming. I'm going to play man defense. This is just me. If I have the defense, because I don't trust your arm just yet. You're just getting into the NFL. So I'm going to play man defense against you, and I'm going to have a linebacker just shaking you. I'm going to have him just follow you around. So when I saw Jalen Hurts come to the game, and he did nothing really. I hate when pro teams draft guys like that, and they want to play musical chairs, and they want to switch the pace up. But look, when you're a QB, you need to get into a rhythm. You can't get into a rhythm being yanked out and then thrown back in there. My thing is, when you take a quarterback in the first round, and was Hurts drafted in the first round or the second round? That's something I need to look up. If you're a first-round QB that's drafted, in this day and age, you might as well start the guy. You drafted him, you might as well start him because you didn't draft him for him to sit on the bench. And a lot of guys nowadays are playing in these pro sets in college now anyways. Look at Cincy. Cincy starting Joe Burrows right out of the gate. The Falcons started Matt Ryan right out of the gate when they drafted him. So the NFC East, in my opinion, is by far the worst division in football. Philly needs a lot of help. They're in trouble. They struggled against a team that didn't have their starting QB. The fact that Nick Mullins, oh my goodness, Nick Mullins pretty much outplayed Carson Wentz. I need for people to let that sink in because Nick Mullins was horrible. Both QBs were horrible, really, looking at that game. But, yeah, NFC East sucks. Dallas sucks. The Giants suck. The Eagles suck. And the Washington football team with no name, no nickname sucks. Just throw that whole division into the trash can. All right. Excuse me. So, one of the reasons I don't listen to the national media is because they're wrong most of the time. You turn to shows like Stephen A. Smith's show where he's just screaming all the time, and the show with Shannon Sharp where he's always telling us a backstory of what his grandmother told him growing up, which I do enjoy those stories, by the way. Being from the South, I enjoy some of those stories, but a lot of the times they get it wrong. The only person I really trust, honestly, though, when I do tune into shows like those, I do take Shannon Sharp and what he says pretty seriously. That he played the pro game, he knows what he's talking about, so I take his opinion more so than I take a guy like Skip or Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith just wants to yell at you, and apparently he's everybody's boy, and he has everybody's phone number on speed dial. So take that how you want to take it. But a lot of these people were saying that Tom Brady was done. I was one of the few that said he's getting there, but he's not quite done yet. Not yet. We've never seen a QB like Tom Brady. Now, people would say Joe Montana, and I would tell you otherwise why I don't compare him to Joe Montana. I'm one of the few people, I might be the only person who thinks Joe Montana is not the greatest quarterback of all time. I think Warren Moon was a better QB than Joe Montana, but Warren Moon didn't get his shot early on in the NFL. That's another story for another day. Early in his career when he had to go up and play in Canada. But Tom Brady, everyone said Tom Brady was done. Tom Brady, let me tell you people what he did. Tom Brady was down, what was the score? 24-7? He was down 24-7, and he threw a pick six to a guy who shares the same name as me, Michael Davis of the San Diego Chargers. Took him to the house, and I saw people, online say, "Oh, he threw another pick six." I think it was like his fourth, fifth, or sixth pick six in his last how many games or whatever. Some stat they put up. But he bought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back because that's what Tom Brady does. And I'm not a Tom Brady guy. I should despise Tom Brady for what he did to my Falcons in the Super Bowl. But he showed people otherwise on Sunday. Tom Brady threw for 30 of 46. He completed 30 of 46 passes on Sunday. Carson Wentz didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. And he's a younger guy, up-and-coming guy. He's supposed to be a star, a stud in this league right now. But here's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's 72 years old. He just goes 30 of 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, the 1 interception, which was the pick six to Michael Davis. He had a QBR of 117. Tom Brady showed you why he's not done. So stop listening to this national media saying, "Oh, well, Tom Brady is showing Father Time," and all that, especially after the New Orleans game. Now, I will admit, he looked pretty bad against New Orleans. But first game jitters, get that out of your system. Now it's a new ball game. Tampa's rolling. They're 3-1 now. And Mike Evans, you have to watch out. Mike Evans hurt himself Sunday, sprained ankle, but the guy showed up. 7 catches, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. The touchdown he caught in the back of the end zone. Man, did you see how Tom Brady stood in the pocket and delivered that ball? Go check that out. Also, the over the top throw to Evans, where the ball was kind of underthrown, and he kind of had to stop. The defender for San Diego, the defender for the Chargers couldn't find the ball. The ball was underthrown, but Evans made the adjustment, and he got popped when he caught it too. But he made the adjustment and caught it. He had himself a good game. Like I said, 7 catches, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Ronald Jones, the running back for Tampa, 20 carries, 111 yards. Let me tell you something. Football is football. I don't care where it's played. Football is football. And when you can run, it opens up the pass. It opens up the offense. It opens up everything. When you can run that football, your whole playbook is of use to you. I don't know, I know it's a whole passing league now, but I love teams that can run the football, and Tampa can definitely run the football. I'm telling you, New Orleans, I called it before the season started. New Orleans, they're going to get some wins just because they're the New Orleans Saints. They still have Drew Brees, even though that's not the Drew Brees of yesteryears. But I'm telling you, Tampa Bay has a defense also that comes along with that offense. Tampa Bay, don't let them get it together, because Tampa Bay, I believe, is going to win the NFC South. That's who I picked. They are winning the NFC South. I'm trying to see who would be in front of them. I picked Minnesota to still kind of be there at the beginning of the season, but Minnesota has really disappointed me with the start they've gotten off to. But, man, watch out, Tampa. Listen to what I'm saying. Tampa. Bucks. Tom Brady. The old man still has it. All right, now, I hate to do this. Back to the NFC East, the New York Giants, because they're not in the news for playing football, because we all know they don't play football in New York. That's not a football state. I consider them more baseball, the Yankees. They don't do football and basketball very well up in New York. You can ask the Giants, Jets, and the New York Knicks about that. Well, the Giants, they're in the news because of the fight with Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey. Now, I don't know the whole specifics of this whole thing, but Jalen Ramsey apparently got into it with Golden Tate. Apparently he has 2 kids with Golden Tate's sister, I believe. And he was defending her honor or whatever. Jalen Ramsey apparently left her while she was pregnant and wanted to date some stripper or some nonsense like that or whatever. Look, here's what I'm saying. And a lot of people might not like this. In a situation like that, you got to let 2 adults handle their own situation. If there was no, as long as it wasn't physical, Ramsey didn't put his hands on Tate's sister. As long as none of that happened, you got to let your sister fight her own battles, brother. You can't be going out here. I get it, it's your sister, it's your family, it hurts. But at the same time, women, you got to vet these men better. Just because you got a man who's making money playing in the NFL doesn't make him a high-value man. Because I'll be honest with you, I thought it was less of a man. Jalen Ramsey was less of a man, let's be honest, to leave his pregnant girlfriend for a stripper. Look, if you're going to do what you're going to do it. I'm not advocating telling people to go outside their marriage and handle their business or whatever. But, these are guys who get women throwing themselves at them all the time. So as a woman, you need to vet men better, and you need to know the type of situation you're getting into. My thing is, they weren't married, because I have this discussion all the time with my own girlfriend. And we go back and forth on it, because my thing is, a woman shouldn't give herself up anyway as far as having kids for a man, and she's not married to him. Why do I need to marry you now? It seems to be that women just don't understand that. It's simple. You can look. You as a consenting adult, both of you all can get it in. Okay, do it whatever it is you got to do, and not bring kids into the equation. But you have a lot of women these days. They have kids just because they can have them. Let's just be honest. That's what a lot of women do these days. They don't vet these men, and they think just because they have these kids, that's going to keep that guy. But like I said, just because you get a man with money doesn't mean he's a high-value man. And my point being, stop having these kids if you're not married to the man. Because there's no commitment. You have women around the western parts of the world, okay, that are just having kids without the commitment. And I think that women need to stop doing that. You won't, trust me, you'll make it easy on yourself. You won't find yourself in a lot of these situations, Let that man make you his wife first before you have these kids. That goes for Golden Tate's sister or a regular woman who's, living an everyday regular life, who doesn't come from money. It doesn't matter. Stop having kids with these men without the commitment. Trust me. It'll save a lot. It'll save you a headache. Okay. All right. That's as far as I'll go into it. But I guess those guys will be disciplined for their fight. That's the only fight the Giants have shown all season. So look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page and get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. Also, go and check out my other YouTube page that I have. Mike Does Everything. And on that page, I'll be doing a little bit of everything. You'll see me as I try and get into the vending machine business by saving money. You'll see me trying to lose weight on that channel. And I will also, I'll probably do a little sports on there as well, too. Try to engage with some of the listeners and all that good stuff. Check this out. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.